Hey, buddy. So you want to be a cage fighter, huh? You're gonna make it, I can tell. You're a winner. You know how I know? Because I was one. So who am I to be talking to you about this? Well, I'm Flash with Flashy Dark Arts. And I was a cage fighter for 6 years. I had a professional record of 8 wins, 2 losses. Not to toot my own horn, but pretty good. I was ranked 87 in the world according to Fight Matrix in 2011, 2012. And that was in the lightweight category. If you don't know martial arts, mixed martial arts, lightweight category is stacked. It's one of the most common weight divisions. And there's some talent in that weight division. I was a 2-time karate world champion. I'm a submission specialist. I have black belts in multiple disciplines. I've trained half my life. I was knocking on the door to the UFC for a long time. I tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. They actually winded up putting somebody I had beaten in the house. Dude made it to the semifinals. Or sorry, actually, no, he made it to the finals. I take that back. I was undefeated at that time too. That was upsetting. But it is what it is. So, why haven't you heard of me? Well, because I'm a nobody from the middle of nowhere. That's why. So you gotta be asking yourself, well, what was the issue? Well, it turns out in MMA, it's not who you are, it's who you know. Much like, many other things. But my coach wasn't well known, I wasn't well known. We were good at what we did, but nobody knew who we were. We had no connections. We tried to promote and push and get me into places, but it is what it is. I mean, it was so bad. I was known as Utah's best kept secret. I mean, that's how bad it is. It's funny. Even Sherdog had a list of martial artists who were up and coming and like the next big thing, who were undefeated and who hadn't fought in the big 15 promotions. And my name was on that list. And that killed me, man. Because the funny part is all these other people on this list were people from, places like Brazil or Russia or, France, places where it might be hard to get noticed in MMA. I was the only American on the list. It was so bad, they started calling me the lone American. And people were asking, like, why the hell isn't this guy in there? Now, I even fought guys who I beat. And after beating them, they made more money than I did, which if you don't know MMA, well, I hope if you're trying to become a fighter, but you have show money, which is what you get paid for showing up, and then you have the purse, which is what you get if you win, right? And I remember I showed up for $1,500 and I won $1,500 in the purse. So I got $3,000 for a fight, and the dude I fought walked away with $4,000 or something. He made more losing the fight than I did winning it, which is crazy. Now, I probably could have gone a lot further than I did if I had sold out. I mean, I liked my gym. I liked my coach. I liked my manager. I liked my training partners. I grew up in that gym. I got a lot of history with it. I was proud and I wanted to represent my gym that I came from, right? My coach's gym. It was a big part of my life. But I had Frankie Edgar's manager and John Jones' manager and, a manager that represented a couple of the Gracies call me and tell me like, dude, there's no reason you should have already been in the UFC. I can get you in there within a month, but you gotta move to New York, you gotta move to Boston, Florida, you gotta move to California and train with so-and-so, that's the only way I'm gonna get you in is you gotta go train with so-and-so. Okay. Chuck Liddell never trained with so-and-so. Chuck Liddell had his coach from the pit that he trained with. That's who he was. That's who, he trained with. That's who he represented. He still did the little pit sign every time he fought. That's a true fighter right there. I didn't want to sell out. I had 2 young boys. I had a wife. I had a family. I don't want to up and move them to a strange city so I could pursue my passion. It was absurd. So, can you make it in MMA? Yeah, of course. Of course you can make it. But you have to be at the right gym, and you have to train with the right people, and you have to have the right manager. And, dude, you gotta have talent. That's kind of a key recipe, but it's only 50% of it. And if you have all these things, yeah, you can make it in the UFC, be professional fighter, Mr. Billy Badass, of course. But keep in mind, fun fact, anybody starting out in the UFC or finally making it there, and keep in mind you've probably already been fighting for quite a few years at this point, which takes its toll on your body and your health. If you make it to the UFC, any bench warmer in the Women's National Basketball Association, which, sorry ladies, nobody really watches, makes more than any newcomer in the UFC. And these are guys that have been fighting and training for years. The sport isn't even like it used to be. I mean, it seemed like it used to be, about seeing who was the best and just about fighting in general. Now it's become kind of more pure entertainment, kind of WWF, like, do you smell what somebody who's not going to sue me is cooking, right? That's why people are throwing dollies through bus windows and jumping cages in fights and talking trash and building it up to these things that are bigger. It's kind of unfortunate because people still buy it. I mean, it's what sells, but the sport's not what it used to be. It's become kind of a joke lately. So if you don't want to sell out and you don't want to make a jackass out of yourself and embarrass your poor mother and become somebody that you're not, there's other shows. So, who's got two thumbs, likes to party, and finally got into one of those big shows? This guy. No, the most I ever made finding one of these big shows was $8,000. Now that sounds pretty good, but when you're talking about 3 months of training, possible injuries, and keep in mind I had knee surgery by 23. A guy which I wasn't even able to pay for, by the way. I had a good friend, Scott, you're awesome, good friend who actually paid for it and helped me out in a dark time. So most I ever made was sorry, they're flying here, don't want to get in front of the camera, but I made $8,000 in one of these big shows. Woohoo! Made it, right? The guy I fought was ranked 37 in the world according to FightMatrix.com. 37 in the world in the lightweight category, which is good. He had already been in and out of the UFC. He had 5 fights in the UFC. The dude was good. Wound up putting me out. Knocked me out. So at this point, you're like, well, screw it. Going for the UFC, right? That's the end game. That's the goal. Okay, at the end of all this, keep in mind that Logan Paul, CM Punk, Daniel Radcliffe, and Oprah have a better chance of getting into the UFC than you do, okay? Why? Because I beat some entertaining shit, right? That's what it is. It's entertainment now. So now, 99.99999% chance that you're not going to make it into the UFC. You probably won't make it into a big show. But if you do, you probably won't get paid all that well. But it's okay, because you'll have knee surgery by 23, arthritis by 30, and probably kidney failure by age 60 from all the cutting weight. But it'll be okay, because you'll have no money to show for it. Okay, now, if none of this has sunk in, you are perfect for cage fighting. You go be the best cage fighter you can be, buddy. You're a star, you're a stud, you're gonna make it, I can tell. I think cage fighting is the perfect occupation for you. Now, if anything in this video made you cringe just a little, like, maybe it's not the best idea, that's good, there's hope for you. Go to college, become a lawyer or a dentist, or do something useful, or at least have it as a backup. Put it on the back burner, okay? Have something in your back pocket to do for if fighting fails, okay? Don't just throw all your eggs in one basket. At the end of the day, I could start a gym and I could teach at the very least, but it's kind of a hobby more than anything, okay? Do something that you're gonna thank yourself for, okay? Fighting's cool, it's fun. If you gotta get it out of your system, go have a cage match or pull a liar, run into the bathroom, go beat yourself up and throw your money in the trash. Now, I'm not telling you not to train in martial arts. I think martial arts is fantastic. It was a big part of my life. I love it. Like I said, I can still go and teach, it's a hobby. I love it. But at the end of the day, man, the cool thing about martial arts or even having a couple fights is, at the end of the day, you can still kick the crap out of somebody, right? You know, you put your kid in ballet, or you know, you take dance lessons or something. Somebody messes with you or attacks you, you're like, back off. I know ballet, bitches. You know, that's the cool thing about martial arts. Is at the end of the day, you can fight. So, you know, train in martial arts, but just careful what you pursue as a career, okay? So, this is a very rude, very sarcastic Flash from Flashy Dark Arts telling you that you're going to be a star. Go ahead and become a cage fighter, kiddo. It'll be good for you. Don't become a cage fighter, please. If you like this video, if you found it useful or entertaining, like, subscribe, please, for the love of Moses, subscribe. Click that little red button. And share this with somebody that wants to be a cage fighter. Let them know what to expect, okay?